This is Conversations with Ronnie Keith. Thank you guys again for joining me once again for Conversations with Ronnie Keith. I am your host, Ronnie Keith. I just want to quickly give a shout out to everyone that has been supporting, downloading, listening to the show. Please continue to download, listen, tell a friend, tell another friend, tell that friend's friend, and tell somebody else's friend about this show. Again, we drop every Friday. For all your listening pleasure. And of course, still the Short Desk podcast still drops on Tuesday. So please share, like, download, subscribe, follow, whatever you can do to support the shows, please do. I have another special guest joining me today. This individual is such a talented person. She has her own podcast. It's called Mamalyfe. And she has been doing the podcast game for a few years here and has developed a great following because of the great content that she has put out over time. Currently, she's in season 3, and I may be wrong about that, but I think it's season 3. She'll correct me. I want to introduce you guys, for some of you that don't know, to Rose C. Rose, how are you doing today?
I am doing great. Long day.
Yes. We have some of those offline conversations, before we come on the show. So it's kind of redundant for me to ask again, but got to ask for the audience. Uh, so thank you so much for joining me here on Conversations with Ronnie Keith Rose. And I just wanted to take a quick moment for you to give us a little background of who you are, what you do. I may have given them a little hint, but just tell us a little bit about yourself and also about your show.
All right, so I'm Rosie, aka Rosie, the Haitian mama. I have a show called Mamalyfe podcast, and I am a mom of 3 boys, stay at home
Wow.
3 boys. And I started this Mama Life podcast because I just wanted to be the voice of the moms that are, struggling. Because when I first had my child, there was really no one for me to talk to, no one to turn to. So I did this as a form of therapy for myself.
Wow. Wonderful. 3 boys. I'm praying for you. I'm praying, I'm praying for you. So, Rose, let's just talk a little quick bit about your show and the start of it. So you started this show. The show, when do the episodes drop? Where can they find your show? On what streaming apps? And how often do you drop episodes?
The episodes drop on Tuesdays, and it's every 2 weeks now. I used to do it every week, but I couldn't find the time to.
Mm-hmm.
I switched it to every 2 weeks, and you can find it on Spotify. You can find it on Apple. Well, Spotify or Apple, because
Okay.
they're switched over to Spotify.
Okay. Cool. And you are currently in season 3, correct?
I am in season 3. It's my third season.
All right. Congratulations. So, a great accomplishment to have a podcast like that. You don't really see too many podcasts helping people deal with some of the struggles that they may have just being a mother or being a mother to 3 boys. And in this instance, 3 black boys. So that's a great thing for you to have this show going. So, I want to dive a little bit into the show. How old are your boys? How old are your sons?
My sons are 4, 5, and 9 right now.
Oh, wow. Wow. So they are, yeah, you really deep in it. So, um, with you being a stay-at-home mom, so, of course, before as I was listening to the show, and I have listened to the show, I know that at one point you decided to go to school to be a cardiologist, but that wasn't the plan for you. But before you became a stay-at-home mom, you were involved in the medical field because you had a job there. When you had your firstborn, was the decision made then that, hey, you know what, I'm not going to continue working, I'm going to stay home, and then the next child came and then the next one came, or did that happen over time for you?
Happened actually when I had my second born, because when I had my firstborn, I was working, he was in daycare, and I was coming home late, and I was like, I don't really like this, but I'm still gonna, continue. But
Hmm.
once I had my second born, and my husband came up with this suggestion and was like, you know what, maybe you should, stay home. Well, actually, no. um,
Uh-oh.
back up. No, I had my second born, and then I was about to go back to work, but then got pregnant with my third one, and then my
Mhm.
husband was like, you know what, maybe you should just stay home.
Now, when your husband approached you with that idea of staying home, when you got pregnant for the third time, were you for it or were you against it?
I was 100% for it, only because I thought it was gonna be a breeze. Like,
Hmm.
I was like, okay, okay, I get to do stuff, but once once I got a taste of it, I was like, ugh. It was craziness.
So tell me about the taste of it. What happened for you initially? So you thought it would be somewhat of a breeze, right? The kids are home, maybe you could send them off to school or maybe not, but you could put them down for a nap when you get ready. You can, watch shows, maybe do a little cleanup and it'll be a breeze. But what was the first occurrence that made you go, "Uh-oh, I may be into something now?"
So the first occurrence, I guess the universe has the funny way of showing you that things are not supposed to work the way you think it's supposed to work. So we had my first one in daycare. So I was thinking about just putting them in daycare and just, staying home, relaxing, doing things. But then the the corona the
Uh-oh.
pandemic,
Coronavirus.
and I got stuck in the house with all three kids.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
Plus, I was like homeschooling my oldest one who was in school. So it
Mhm.
was two babies under two with me trying to do all the
Oh,
computer
wow.
work. It was just crazy.
Wow. Wow. So, oh my God. So at this point, you were not working, then COVID-19 hit, and it became a whole new world for you.
Yeah.
My goodness. So at that point, were you rethinking it? Or did you just say, you know what, because of the restrictions that were going on, of course, daycares and things like that weren't open at the time. Did you think, okay, you know what, I can hold on to this and I think I can do this? Or was it just every day was a challenge for you?
I think every day was a challenge because I still, couldn't get the hold of it. Like, I couldn't
Hmm.
get a routine going, because once you get a routine going, everything just flows. But if you're trying to get that routine of, okay, I'm going to do this, I'm going to get up, get
Hmm.
kids ready, get my son ready to hop on a computer, feed my littles who are like running around crazy, crying.
Wow. So is that when the concept of the podcast came about during the pandemic time, and having to take care of all three boys at home?
No, the podcast came during my second born, because I remember it clearly, because I think I was in a delivery room just, recording an episode.
Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah.
Wow. What was that like? I don't think I heard that episode.
It was a crazy episode. I think I got it on my podcast. I was just in a
Okay.
delivery room just recording my normal podcast just while giving birth.
Whoa. Whoa. Are you kidding me? That is wow. Wow. Okay. That's man, that's Wonder Woman right there because mm-mm. With us men, we could have a hangnail and we can't do nothing after with the
That
hangnail.
that hangnails hurt. Like my husband always said, like I freak out over a hangnail, but
Mhm.
when it comes to pushing a baby out, I'm like,
Now, Rose, now, Rose, now, with all of that being said, um, you've experienced, some challenges with being at home. And one of the things that you do advocate for is therapy. Talk us through when you reached a point of knowing that you needed therapy and how has that been helping you?
well, my breaking point came one day when I think the both babies were crying at the same time, and
Hmm.
I started to cry and scream and and
Yeah.
just I got angry, and then I was like, wait a minute, I think I need help because
Hmm.
I know, and I don't want to get angry at the kids for crying because they're kids. I mean, they're gonna cry.
Hmm. Right, 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 right.
So I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna find a therapist that understands me, and no shade to. I went for a black therapist
Hmm. Hmm.
only because I feel that she is so relatable because she has kids of her own, which are
Hmm.
older, but she knows what it's like.
Right.
Um,
Yeah.
I for her, and it was amazing because now she's like walking me through my problems, telling me that I need self-care every now and again. It's been
Mhm.
been great. I mean, it's expensive, but it's like it's helping.
Right, right. Because sometimes you probably feel like, not saying that your husband or any other man isn't there, but we don't understand what it is to be at home taking care of, I mean, even if it's just one child, taking care of a child or children 24/7, it seems, and then also trying to maintain the house as well. That could take a toll on your mental health. I can only imagine. And then needing someone to talk to. Did you have any friends or do you have any friends that were, you know, confidants and you could talk to that were also somewhat going through the same thing as you with, being at home with your kids? Did you have any supports in that manner?
I had one friend, my best friend. She lived in Orlando actually.
Oh, okay.
I talk to her sometimes, but after she passed, I
Oh no, I'm sorry.
it's okay. I feel like I needed, more. Well, she didn't pass when I first started getting therapist. I mean, I was talking
Hmm.
to her about the therapy, but
Hmm.
yeah, she was the person that I could talk to.
Okay. That's okay. But after she passed, you really didn't have anyone. Is that
No, not really. Well, some people get offended. It's like she was like my comfy. Like I felt like I could really talk to her. Like I have
Mhm.
people to talk to, but she was like my go-to.
Right. And we all have certain friends for certain things, right? And there's no shade to any friend that we have, but here's a friend that I can go and really have a deep conversation with. Here's a friend I could talk to laugh about things. You know what I mean? So
Yeah,
yeah, we all have those type of friends. And so once she passed, then it was just, you were kind of like, okay, I don't know what else to do. And that's when therapy came along for you pretty much to help you. But um I know that, of course, your name is Rosie, Haitian mama. Were
yeah.
you born in Haiti or did you grow up here in the States?
Oh no, I was born in Haiti. I came to the States. I like to tell people when I was 7. Obviously, my dad said it wasn't true.
Oh, it wasn't?
It was 1994. I,
Okay.
okay, I just give the year now because I used to say my age, and my dad was like, "Stephen, what are you talking about?"
So you weren't 7 in 1994.
I was not.
Okay. So was has there been any adjustment or I mean, I know that happened so long ago for you moving over to the States, but do you find yourself still adjusting to the United States, or do you feel more acclimated not only with growing up here but now raising your kids here in an American environment?
I think I'm all in now. I'm all in. Like it's I just have to teach my kids the language of, our culture, which has really been a struggle for me because the first thing I, taught them was English. So
Hmm.
because I thought it would be confusing, especially having to talk two languages at once. I didn't want to confuse them.
Oh, so they don't know what is it, Creole?
Yeah.
They don't know Creole.
No, they don't. Like my parents,
Oh,
they talk to them, but it's like they hardly understand anything.
I got you. I got you. Okay. So you grew up in a Haitian household coming to the United States. Was there any shortcomings or confusion for you being over dealing with American kids, or were you able to just blend right in and everything was normal for you?
I blend right in. Like my social thing is that I camouflage to my environment. Like
Mm,
so
okay.
I make friends real quick. I blend right in. But it was like growing up in a Haitian household is like my parents have, a lot of boundaries. Like they were really, really strict. Like I wasn't allowed to have friends per se.
Hmm.
I sneak and
Hmm.
made some friends, but they couldn't come my house because I wasn't allowed to have any friends.
Oh wow. Now, with that being said, has that translated to your parenting, or your parenting style is totally different from your parents?
No, I wanted to make it different because I knew how that felt when I couldn't have any friends and I was
Hmm.
like isolated. So I didn't want my kids to feel isolated. So I encouraged them to have friends.
Hmm.
But I think the same concept for me apply when it comes to, having sleepovers. Like I gotta really, really trust the person.
Mm. So has that been approached already with your kids? They want to have sleepovers, or they want to go over to somebody's house to sleep over?
Not a friend, but with my husband's boss,
Mhm.
like she always invites my oldest to sleep over and
Ooh.
my husband always, says yes because we're like different culture because he's American
Hmm.
and
Hmm.
Asian, so he's like, okay, like, he could sleep over. But it took me a while to really, really go with it. So
Hmm.
when I finally decided to go with it, I gave my oldest a phone and I was like, if anything happens, call me on his phone.
Right. I hope you didn't tell your parents about this because I can
I
imagine.
did actually. Oh my god, they were like they freaked out. They was like, "You let him sleep over at somebody else's house?"
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Because my parents are American. They're Black American, and I have my son's. Well, I take that back. My son has slept over at a friend's house, and my mom doesn't know about it until she hears this episode. Because if she knew about it then, yeah, she would have been wanting to tear me and my wife apart because she did not play that sleeping over thing. And her grandson going somewhere, she ain't having it. So yeah. Sorry, mama. You finding out now.
Like,
Yeah. So okay. So now I'm glad that you are able to get yourself some help, seek therapy, things like that. I know that from time to time you've talked about you and your husband able to get away. Are you guys still able to do that? Take some of the pressures off of, of course, his job and then everything that you do at home. Are you still able to get away from time to time and have yourself a little me time?
actually, yes. We get every time on our anniversary. Our last anniversary that just passed, we went to Napa Valley, California.
Oh,
it
okay. How was that?
was great. It was so relaxing. We had so much wine.
That's what I was about to ask. I know that's the wine country.
Yeah.
I see. I know they even have like a train like thing out there too. I heard like will take you on a little journey through the wine countries and things like that. Okay. So when you're away on vacation like that, are you worried about the boys? Are you calling back, checking in on them several times a day? Like, how does that work?
I call them, but I know they're with my parents, so I really don't
Mhm.
have to be worried because my parents will cook a whole bunch of food for them. Like,
That's good.
okay.
That's good. That's good. So for all three boys, are you homeschooling them now, or are they in school now?
Oh no, they're in school. I cannot do
Okay.
that thing. Like I tried it during the pandemic, and
Mhm.
I did not like it.
Wow.
I did
S-
not.
So tell me about a typical day, like especially during the summertime. We're approaching summertime, and all three of them will be home for the most part. What's a typical day for you at home with your three sons?
Well, first of all, even when it's summer, I'm gonna try to get up at 5 and work out because I feel like working out is just my thing. Is just gets ready for the day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But they wake up, I get everybody ready, make everybody breakfast, and if I have plans, I do the plans. I do not have plans for the summer yet for them or what I'm going to do. I don't make any plans until the day of. So,
Right. 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 That's cool.
so yeah, they're always hungry when they get up, and they get up super early. Like it's ridiculous.
Oh my goodness. That's boys. That's boys. I mean, that's what boys do. My son just today, he's graduating high school on May 21st.
Oh
So
yay!
he's graduating, thank you. And just today we went to a pizza place and he sat there and ordered a 14-inch pizza and ate it all by himself plus some cheese bread. And I'm just like, what in the world is going on here? I said, well, you know what? You're not playing sports anymore, so you better watch how you eat because that's going to catch up to you like it caught up to me. So I think you better
Oh,
chill. And I didn't even eat like that when I was his age. So, but yeah, boys are very, very hungry. So, with Mama Life podcast, have you found it to be difficult recording your podcast, or do you make sure you set some time away from everything and all your responsibilities to record and talk to the people when you do this?
oh my god, like lately I have been finding it difficult. I used to like stack up my episodes, and
Hmm.
now I'm finding it just difficult just recording like on a daily basis. And that's why I switched to, twice a week. I feel like I could get it ready the week before. I'm good.
Hmm. Really, really. Has it been a change in your schedule, or is it just everything that's going on with you and then the boys growing up and things like that?
It's just everything because they have soccer practice. I have to take
Hmm.
soccer every now and then. I
Hmm.
have to like pick them up from school, make
Hmm.
is ready, clean up the house, which never stays clean by the way because they always mess it up.
Of course, of course. That's a given. That's a given. I wasn't even going to ask you about how the house stays clean because I know that ain't happening. Not with the boys in there. And especially three. Wow. Now, do they get along okay?
No,
Uh
well,
oh. Uh oh.
my 5 year old and my 4 year old really doesn't, but it's probably because they're close. They're close in age.
Hmm. Okay. Okay. Is the 9-year-old, is he the boss?
No, my my
The
4 year.
4-year-old. I figured. I figured.
It's always the littlest ones. It's always the
Yes.
like why?
Yes, 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 yes. Wow. So when you had three boys, did you or your husband go, man, I wish we had had a girl, or were you content with the three boys?
I kind of said that.
Oh.
'Cause I really thought the third one was gonna be a girl, and when it
Mhm.
got to be a boy, I was like, ugh, okay, I guess I'll take it. Because my so dramatic, it wasn't even funny.
Really? How dramatic.
So I don't
Uh-oh.
know this. Okay, so my water. I thought my water breaking was supposed to be water, but it wasn't really water.
Oh, okay.
It was, and I got so scared because I was like, what is happening? Like, is this seriously happening? Am I like trying to have a miscarriage just when I thought this baby was coming?
Mhm.
So we went to the hospital. They said everything was fine. And of course, they asked me if I want an epidural. Like, no, I didn't get one the last time. I'm not going to get one this time.
Right, right, right.
And that was
Okay.
the sad part because I was like panicking because it came out with blood and it was like, okay, like what's happening now? But it broke the water when I got to the hospital because, of course, the water didn't break. I don't know what broke, but it was
Mm.
all over, it was all over the floor. Like, I always make a mess. Like,
Oh my goodness. Really? Now, I know you've mentioned it on a podcast before on your show, Mama Life, but you have experienced a miscarriage, correct?
yes.
Okay. Was that in between the boys or was it after the boys?
It was in between, actually. It was before my second one.
Okay. Did that have a an effect on you mentally to
Yes,
okay.
yes, actually. I was sad a lot because I didn't really, know who to talk to. Actually, my pregnancy came on my birthday, so I was so excited.
Mhm.
I was
Mhm.
like, oh my God, like look at God. Like, it happened on
Mhm.
my birthday. But then I had a miscarriage. I was like, what is happening right now?
Right, right,
It's
right.
like you had a gift for your birthday and then it was taken away.
Mm. So, did you of course you didn't give up, but did you feel like I don't want to have any more kids or did, did it help that you had one and there was still hope? Like what was your mindset after it happened?
I wanted to try again.
Yeah. That's good because you know what, you don't hear that a lot, Rose. I mean, a lot of times, some women become very depressed. And how long was it after you had you said it was after your firstborn, right?
It wasn't even that long. It was
Okay.
like a few months. It wasn't
Okay.
that long. Like, I tried and then it happened.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I know that a lot of times, women will get depressed and downtrodden about that and be like, I don't want to do this again or whatever. But, I'm glad to hear that it didn't keep you down. But, it still has an effect on you, especially like you said, it was like a present for your birthday. And then boom, it was taken away from you.
Yeah.
So, I'm very sorry to hear that. But, again, you were able to persevere and, you came out with some more. And so, that's always a great thing. Um, with your show, you have had guests on. I've seen, as far as there was a little series that you had going on about mental health. And again, that's a big thing. You're a big advocate for that on your show, Mom's Mental Health. Those guests, were they moms as well? I didn't get a chance to hear all of them, but were they moms as well? And they had advice about dealing with mental health as working at home, being at home mothers?
I had a couple of moms, but I had a dad, like, from
Okay.
the what? Why did I forget the podcast? But
That's okay. That's okay.
no, goodness. But yes, it's a dad's podcast and it's really, really good because I listen to it all the time.
Hmm. Hmm.
I had them on. So
Okay.
tell me because I really did forget the podcast.
That's all right. That's all right. They blame it on your brain, not your heart, because you got it in your heart.
So many podcasts that it's crazy. I was
Yeah, I see. You listen to a lot of them. You listen to our Short Disc podcast as well. And, you're a very great supporter, and I really appreciate that. So, with that being said, what does season 4 look like for Rose C? Are you gonna, or do you think you may be able to get back to weekly shows, or do you think it's just going to stay bi-weekly for now?
I think it's gonna stay bi-weekly, and season 4 is just, it's gonna be my struggles with the boys growing up, getting
Hmm.
to their own persons,
Right.
because my kids are crazy right now because they're growing up, they have minds of their own, they're doing crazy things. So
Yeah.
kind of capture that and just record that on a podcast.
Absolutely. Okay. That's good. And I'm glad that you're able to captivate an audience and keep an audience with that. And the one thing that I like about your show too, Rose, is that it's not drawn out, right? Because a lot of times on topics, it's like, okay, let me talk about this for 2 hours. It's like, no, you don't have to talk about that
I know.
topic for 2 hours. You know what I'm saying? You get in, you get out, and boom, you hit it home. And then you also have a what is it called? A is it quote of the day?
It's a inspirational quote.
Inspirational quote. Yeah. And I like that. I love that. I love that you have that at the end of your show, and it's always high energy. I really, really, really enjoy your show. For all of our listeners out here that listens to the Conversations with Ronnie Keith, as Rose stated, you can find her podcast, which is called Mamalyfe, on all platforms, Apple and Spotify. You can download, listen, follow, and share. Please rate, and if you're on Apple, rate and leave a quick review for her as well. Her show is very, very popular. I also enjoy your videos. She has an Instagram account. You can follow her on there. What's your Instagram name on Instagram?
It is Mama Life plus three. No,
Yeah.
no, no, it's not. It's just Mama Life.
Okay.
It's Mama Life.
and and you make some great videos every, I won't say every day, but a lot of days during the week. You make some fun, energetic videos. Some of the things you like to do is dance. That
Yeah.
releases for you. That's release therapy for you, right?
Yes. Oh my God. I love music. So it's like when I get to dance and do my lip sync karaoke, I can't sing, but I
Nothing wrong with that. Listen, I on most of the intros for my other show, the Short Desk Podcast, I'm doing the intros. I can't sing a lick, but guess what? Y'all gonna hear me. So, with that, Rose, who's your favorite? Who's your favorite artist? Who's your favorite singer?
my favorite
Uh huh.
my favorite rapper is
Yeah.
Tupac.
All right. Me and you. That's why we get along. That's my favorite too. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
What's his birthday month? Whoop, whoop.
Yeah, that's right. Well, Rose, I want to thank you so much for coming on Conversations with Ronnie Keith. Thank you. This has been fun. I really appreciate you opening up to us, letting us know some of the struggles and joys and funs that you have with being a mother of three boys, and continued success on your show.
Thank you so much. It was really fun. I really enjoyed it. Thank you for having me on.
Yes, thank you. Rose, I want to thank you so much for joining me today. Please make sure you check out Rose's podcast, Mama Life. It drops every week. So, thank you guys so much for listening in this week. Really appreciate all the support that you guys have been giving the show. As always, check me out on Tuesdays with the Short Desk Podcast with John, Steph, and Dwayne. And I'll be here every Friday. This was Conversations with Ronnie Keith.